Hey, Ben. Okay, Christina's coming on, Ben, and I got some kids from my class.
Kia ora, kia ora. Kia ora, Michael.
Yeah, hello, how you doing?
I'll just put on my video so you can see me.
Okay, good.
I've got quite an audience there.
Yeah, they heard you're going to be on, so I wanted to see you.
Oh, yay. I didn't realize I was that famous in America.
Oh, yeah, it's on the tip of their tongue. This is like really good. They said, who is this lady? And we had to try to do it. In fact, we're actually broadcasting to our whole class, but this is some of the kids who want to get involved in peer mediation. And this is Ben Ramirez, and Ben Ramirez is the vice president of the Austin World Affairs Council. And we're trying to work with Austin World Affairs Council and the Global Scholars Diploma Program and trying to do some of the peer mediation like you're doing. So we wanted to talk to an expert. So that's why we went halfway across the world to do it.
Sounds ka pai, as they say in Te Reo Maori in New Zealand. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Ben, Ben, could you introduce yourself? Because Ben's at a meeting downtown and he wanted to make sure to take this opportunity. So Ben, if you could talk a little bit first.
Yes, absolutely. And Michael, thank you for arranging this and for having the students there. Christina, it's a pleasure to meet you. On behalf of the World Affairs Council, which is a local nonprofit organization which has its headquarters in Washington, D.C., and there are several chapters around America, but the local chapter here in Austin, we're really interested in seeing how we can partner with school districts to give students the best opportunity to learn programs specifically that fit their objectives as they advance beyond high school and go and work in the professional workforce. So the mediation program in particular that you're running, Christina, is something that Michael has looked at and thinks would fit very well for the aspirations of the students here in the Del Valle School District. So that's why I wanted to join and participate as much as possible and hear from your side what you would like to see, but also Michael has some ideas of his own and we hope to be partners in the future. So that's why I'm here.
Oh, exciting. Thank you. And you're Ben, just Ben, did I get that name right?
Yes, Ben. Mm-hmm.
Ben.
Yeah, like Ben Franklin.
Yeah. Yep. Do you want, I'll just let me know when I can do a little introduction as well.
Go ahead.
So that
you're next. We'll put the important people next.
Okay, so kia ora koutou in our Indigenous language. That's greetings, everybody. And so my name is Christina Burrowell, and I've got two roles with the Peace Foundation, Aotearoa New Zealand. My first role is Head of Peace Education. So I head all the education programs that will, we've got 3 or 4 really good programs. But I also co-manage the organization with my partner, John Reichert, who's American, by the way, living in New Zealand now. So we're a small, not-for-profit organization who's been doing good work in Aotearoa, New Zealand since the 1970s. And our programs, our peer mediation programs, have been going since the mid-90s. So since 1995, 94, and I've been heading those for the last 16 years. So I took over the work from the founder, Yvonne Duncan. So I just want to acknowledge her. She founded the primary program, the Cool Schools Peer Mediation Program, and then that evolved also into a secondary program, Leadership Through Peer Mediation. And I took over from her good work in 2006. So I've been heading the organisation since then and loving every minute of it. My favourite things to do is to be working with the rangatahi or the students and the tamariki in primary level. That's our learners at right through all the school levels. I love being on the chalk face and doing that, as well as professional development for teachers and anyone else who really loves the kaupapa. What we call kaupapa is our work that we do. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me, and I live on the North Shore in Auckland, our biggest city in New Zealand, here with my partner and my two boys who I've practiced on a lot with all these beautiful skills and who have now got businesses of their own and say they use the skills every day, Mum. Thank you. So that's good news. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. So Michael, you might want to just tell me a bit about you and your lovely group.
Okay, yeah. My name's Michael Cunningham. I've been working with Ben for about 4 years now, and we have a program where we do internships. And what we're trying to do is to get the students here when they graduate. We're trying to get them a paralegal certificate, an ADR, a mediation certificate, and now we're actually going to add notary republic as well. So our goal is to try to do all three of those things for kids who go to college or kids go to law school. This last year, we had 6 students, 4 went to college, and 2 are now practicing paralegals. So we're very excited about that. One of the things we're looking at is trying to do something to help these students out. I'm about to introduce you to some kids here that started out, they're freshmen right now, but they didn't want to wait till their senior year to learn about mediation. And that's where I kind of got interested to do about peer mediation, because peer mediation, it doesn't make a difference if you're mediating with middle school or high school or adults. It's basically still the same mediation. So they would develop the skills 9 through 11 and then be able to actually take a course in which they can get their Texas certificate or in multiple disciplines. Today, I have my Wyoming and my Texas ADR certificate. So I was trying to do for them the same thing I was doing for myself. So that's where we're coming from. The peer mediation, I think, is going to be a real big aspect. And then also we're trying to partner with Ben, and we're partnering with another partner of ours, our Medium Virtual College, and they would like to put together a not competition, but kind of like a showcase in the spring where we could bring people from like New Zealand or maybe Australia or Texas or other places around the world, and they could mediate, and we could have sample mediations. You have a problem and work out like that. I've never seen that happen. It should be able to happen, and I think with your help, it will happen.
Yes, and I know in places like Paris, they have mediation competitions, and we've had representatives from different universities go over.
Oh, yeah.
Compete. Yeah,
it's one of the hottest things going right now for colleges. The thing which I'm trying to do is we're trying to introduce it into high school. That way that people get experience for high school and also for college. So this is something that could go into workforce. Ben mentioned just briefly, but make a long story short, some of the situation is that you can make a very good living, and that's what we're trying to go from school to the workplace. So whether you exit out at college, you exit out after high school, we will develop skills that will actually make a difference for these students, not only now, but the rest of their lives.
No, absolutely. Wonderful life skills. Absolutely wonderful life skills. I also forgot to mention that I am a qualified adult mediator. I was fortunate. There's an organization here called Resolution Institute, and they train mediators, adult mediators right throughout New Zealand. And I was fortunate to get a scholarship with them in 2015. So I'm also a trained adult mediator who's registered on their website. And the other thing is I offer my service to schools so that if there's often, a conflict of interest or conflict between staff members, that's better to actually get someone from the outside coming in. So I also offer that service. I can just go support schools, especially those that we work our programs in. So our primary program or our secondary program, I'm very happy to support providing a mediation service if they need that as well. So that we all practice what we preach. That's really important.
Oh, I definitely agree with you, and that would be a good thing, especially when you have difficulties, you need to have somebody outside the school to actually
Yeah.
mediate. So that would be and then mediating halfway across the world, you couldn't have any bias. You wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So Ben could offer that program to a lot of schools. That would be a real setup. I'm just going to have the kids introduce themselves really quickly and then tell them a little bit about what they've been doing on mediation.
Mm.
My name is Lenny. What we've been doing is just my name is Lenny, and what we've been doing is just like little run-throughs of, well, he has us type out our scenarios and then we choose what we like the best and we act it out, and it's just really fun going back and forth and then reaching a conclusion of each other through mediation. It's really fun to do.
My name is Stephanie Overall. He said, we're saving lives here. We're resolving a lot of conflicts together, or a lot of things that could possibly happen in real life. And I think it's fun doing it all together.
My name is Camille Cartwright, and basically today and what we're doing in this class is we're building our own scenarios off of prompts, and we're continuing to use them, and we're also picking them just by how we can make a solution to them, as well as because the whole point of mediation is to solve a problem. So if you don't know how to solve a problem, or in general how to make a story that involves a good problem, then in general, then this class would be used.
Mm.
My name is Salem Alemán, and so far in the class previously received prompts that have been given to us by our teacher, and we continue them, and then we will take one of the prompts in class, and some students will be actors and the others will be mediators, and we get to discuss how it would be to try and resolve a problem. And it really takes a lot of teamwork and problem solving skills, which are skills that we'll need later on.
My name is Amory, and like they said, we get different scenarios and we act them out and we come to a resolution.
My name is Sarah, and I do agree with what the others say. I think that mediation is great because we won't have to bother the court and those meetings for those who have, well, I would say minor problems.
Yeah, we're actually aiming towards, she's going to be taking the ADR. She's a junior. She'll be taking the ADR exam later in the spring. So.
Hard to hear. We can't hear.
Louder.
Yeah, we can't hear.
Yeah. She's coming.
No, still can't hear.
I don't know if the microphone is acting up.
Well, we got one of those mics that's inside the computer is the problem. Okay. Just to say, we'll let everybody say. Go ahead, loud.
I'm Kate, and again, with what others were saying, it's important, in this class, we practice building our own scenarios, solving problems, like just with realistic things. And I think it's important for people to have other options besides just going to court for disputes.
Yeah.
Great, loud.
Oh, can't hear.
Go.
You might need to
Talk.
yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hi, I'm Brienne. I'm a junior, and I've been doing like the mediation, like and I've enjoyed doing this because you can like practice problem solving, and it's nice to kind of figure that out. It's pretty useful.
Okay, so what we've done is that we've modeled a little bit for these mock mediations, which we're going to be starting for the AGBU, ABC, and mock negotiations. But we would like to actually incorporate that peer mediation that program like you're doing to actually get it a little bit more strong in our curriculum. And that's what we're looking at, is some sort of a thing like that. And then try to talk to you about inviting some of the schools that you work with to actually have like that showcase at the, in May or sometime in your winter, our summer, to be able to actually have some kind of competition like doing it, which would be a real help for us. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it sounds like a wonderful idea. And I think we would have definitely schools, and we're talking more of our secondary program here, which we call it Leadership Through Peer Mediation.
Right.
So that's our, and so we've got a number of probably over 24 schools and right throughout Aotearoa who are working at that program effectively. And I would say there'd be a good 5 or 6 of them that would be keen on this, definitely in the Auckland area. Yeah, so that sounds really exciting. It'd be lovely to have that collaboration, Michael.
Oh yeah, if we could ever get some of your schools to show us a haka too, we would really appreciate that. Last time that we had that, we had some dealings with New Zealand. It was probably maybe 10 years ago. The kids were just so fascinated. They'd never seen Maori people do that, and it was very stimulating. We'll put it that way. The people were there never forgot it. So that's one thing we're kind of looking forward to when you said about indigenous people and stuff.
Yeah, and one of the things that will be quite if we do have this lovely collaboration partnership, we do a big peace symposium in August every year. Next year it's on Friday the 18th of August, and we could bring you in, stream you in live, and we have a puffity at that. So that's the whole you'll see a whole process of how the Indigenous people welcome and invite people in with speakers on both sides with a haka at the end.
Oh wow!
And then we could even have contribution from you, because we have quite a lot of schools that come to that event as a form of celebration. And we normally have a theme, and this year our theme is Community Connect, Project for Peace. So we have our national theme for schools right throughout New Zealand, and then at the symposium, that's a showcase for the schools, especially in the North Island, coming together and sharing with us what they've done for their project next year, their project for peace in their community. So that'll be exciting, and something possibly you may be interested in looking at as well.
Oh yeah, we would be glad to participate, right, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a fantastic opportunity for the students to have. And, even this collaboration, somehow having some type of mediation programs between the students here at Del Valle during the year would be also very beneficial. So anything I can do to help, glad to do it.
Okay. Now, what is your feeling? How does one normally go about associating with your group there in New Zealand?
Well, this is quite new for us. We haven't really done this before, just because we're quite busy nationally. So, I think with the thing with COVID, it's meant we're much more of a global community now, and we can open up doors like this to collaborate in other countries. We collaborate nationally with our peace symposiums around the country, but we haven't really done anything on an international front before. So this is new territory for us as well. I have gone to other countries. I was in Japan in 2019 at a university called Hirosaki University. So I introduced the program and actually train students in Japan, and I've done that in other countries around the world as well. But it's more of a training and setting them up with a peer mediation, but not really a collaboration, just around our, getting schools to connect together and sort of speak to each other, and then maybe even have a competition. This is something quite new for us, but I think it's an exciting idea.
I would like to try to do something on this, just in broad terms. I'd like to try to do something like once a month or once every 6 weeks, try to have some sort of activity between us and some other schools. And then I would like to try to have a competition there, like end of May or around the end of May, and then we would participate in your August International Festival. That would be really nice. Try to have like a year-round deal where we could continue what we're talking about and either do peace theme or, we could have a debate or a better understanding or discussion, or we could have a peer mediation. We really like that peer mediation, especially I think it would be nice if we had a topic and get a different global perspective. The idea would be is that if we could train people this age and when they became leaders, they would at least have a better understanding of what other people from other countries actually say, instead of hearing what they say artificially, told from somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a curious question. So do your students get training? Like we go into schools, we actually do training around peer mediation, and then lots of practice at role play, learning the skills associated with being a good peer mediator, which is listening skills, questioning skills, problem solving skills. Although so our students get quite a lot of training for the role of being a peer mediator, and then they offer a peer mediation service to their school, and all schools vary in that slightly. What works for one school may not work for another. They will have different ways of approaching peer mediation and offering their skills to their peers. So just interested to know what you do with your students to actually give them skills so they feel confident, in the role of peer mediator, because it's a very specific and very, it's a very prescribed role, and it's really important that students understand totally what is involved in that, and they need to get really good support to be able to do it well in a school. So I was just wondering what you do.
Yeah, they're going to show something here. Go ahead.
Well, first you're going to do is your opening statement. And your opening statement is when the mediator sets the boundaries and in general the morals that they're going to be using, the standards in general of the whole story, or in general the mediation. And the second one is joint conversation, when they all join together and they're all talking about all the events that is going on. The third one is individual conversation, when each mediator goes to the side and talks to their person that they are mediating as well. And they come up with in general something, and they're talking to them about their feelings and everything that they in general would like to be said to the other person. And the fourth one is negotiation, when they go together and they continue talking about all the problems, and as well as they make a solution to the problems that benefits both of the parties. And the fifth one is solving the problem, which is a compromise that both parties will have to take.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you. That's a really good description. Thanks. And also understanding very well also what the role of the mediator is. So what is your understanding around what your role is when you're in a mediation role for your peers who have an issue together? What is your understanding around that?
The microphone cut out
Okay, go
for me.
ahead.
Yeah.
The
No, I
entire
can't hear.
Okay, go ahead.
My understanding of a mediator is someone who helps regulate our environment, as well as they help solve the problem by getting to the root of the problem. And instead, they're also listening to both sides. They have to be neutral so they can understand both sides and they can solve both sides as well as make a compromise. Because when you're making a solution to a problem, you have to understand the problem and look at things in a completely different perspective, as well as just as well as you would do in a debate. You would have to, or as a judge as well, you would have to look at things in a different perspective. So you're not ignorant, and you're understanding that both sides are important, and you're validating the feelings.
Yeah, we're trying we're trying to train that they're not an advocate. They're supposed to be a mediator, unlike a attorney where you're be advocating a position, you're advocating the middle ground, and you're trying to get them to reach the middle point between compromise.
So that's really good. And just being probably with a key thing to be aware of is that a mediator guides a process of problem solving. So the process, you have a very distinct process that you are guiding for your peers to support them to solve their own problem. And
Right,
that's really important. And I didn't hear that you as mediators don't do the solving of the problems. You're there to support your peers with being able to ask very effective questions around how to solve it themselves. So it's very empowering. So you are empowering your peers through effective questioning to be able to solve their own problem with your help. And that's what the mediation process is. It's a process that you use. And we have a very distinct process here, a process for the primary schools or the elementary school. We have a process for our secondary schools, and they learn that process really well. And then as they get more confident, they can start to sort of, cut things out that they think are not so important if it's relevant for a particular conflict, you might say. But the process of mediation is key to mediators doing a really good job, being able to follow that process, and also skills around knowing exactly what is a good mediator and what are things you can't do. So all that learning is really important in your training before you even offer any sort of form of mediation to your peers. You must be feeling confident about your role as a mediator and the mediation process that you follow, which is a guide for you. It keeps you safe. And somebody in your group, I just can't remember the name, said something about rules. You must have rules of mediation, and your students that are working with you as the disputants must agree to those rules before you even have a mediation. So that keeps everybody safe. So important. You've got to keep yourself safe, and you've got to keep your disputants or the people with the problem safe. And if that happens, then mediations can work really well. If it doesn't happen, then they don't work so successfully. Yeah. So yeah, there's just a little bit of information, but it sounds like it's really interesting. What you're doing, and I just think the power of mediation is very special. And that's why mediators in New Zealand just love their role, because it's the whole, when I say the power of mediation, to be able to work a successful mediation really well and to be confident in that role is not only giving you life skills to build relationships, with the people in your life in the future, but you're also supporting peers and role modeling really good constructive conflict resolution skills for your peers. That is life-changing. The amount of letters that we have through the Peace Foundation to say that the skills they've had as being a peer mediator has changed their lives big time. So it really is a fantastic journey to be on, and I really acknowledge you as students taking up this initiative and going for it. And it would be great for you to have conversations with other peer mediators in New Zealand. I think I can really work with you and aligning you with some schools here. We've had schools that have been doing this program for over 30 years. So they've been doing it a very long time. One school, and I'd really like to hook you up with that school, Mount Roskill Grammar School. And they have over 350 mediators in that school, representing 75 different cultures.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that would be really good. I'll try to get back with you because I know time is important. I know Ben has to do it, and the kids are just about out of school here. But we really did enjoy talking to you today, and I think I'm going to come up with a formal proposal, and I'll send it to you the next day or so, and see if we can just start this going, because I think after meeting, this is exactly what we want to do. Right, Ben?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And as you said, Christina, these
You're
skills,
muted.
these skills are extremely important for today's workforce, especially in America, with the different cultures and the age gap in the workforce as well, these generate these unnecessary conflicts. So
Yeah.
I truly agree with you on the fact that these skills change people's lives. So thank you, Christina, for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. And you'll be hearing from us, and let's hope this next year will be a real productive one for all of our schools here and the schools there in New Zealand. Thank you so much.
No, ka kite anō.
Bye.
Thank you. See you
Bye.
again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.